Hi, friends. My name is Allison Wells, and I'm a social and emotional learning coordinator with Big Thought and SEL Dallas. And I want to thank you so much for tuning into our SEL Dallas reads that we do every Monday. And we're still going to continue doing these throughout the summer. And don't forget to check out our other videos on our social media. We have videos on mindfulness, self-care, art projects, gratitude, you name it, we have it. So again, thank you for tuning in. So today, I want to talk about something that's really important, especially right now, and that's really near and dear to my heart. I want to talk to you about the importance of inclusion, belonging, and labels. Now, when I say labels, can anyone think of what I might be talking about? That's right, not just a label on a can of soup, but this can still give us the same idea. So just like we label a can of soup or other ingredients to show what's in it and all the things that are included, same thing happens with us. Labels can be the assumptions that people use to describe others. And throughout our lives, we have attached labels to others, and others have attached labels to us. And these labels can affect how others think about their identities and even how we think about ourselves. Now, I want to say labels are not always negative. They can reflect some positive characteristics and set expectations. For example, some labels about me that I like are I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a Christian, I'm a cat mom, and I've got 2 cats that might pop up throughout our video today. And I also like to think I'm a Southern belle because I'm from the South and I'm really kind of girly and feminine and like those sorts of girly things. But sometimes I can be labeled because I'm blonde. Some people might say, oh, she must just be a dumb blonde. Or because I like girly things and I'm feminine, oh, she wouldn't like to get her hands dirty. Which, if anything, I actually love to do. I love to go outside and, play and garden and swim and hike and be in nature. But if you didn't know me and you just looked at me, you might not assume that that would be a label of how I might choose to identify myself as. So I want you to think for a moment, what are some of the labels that you like about yourself? Yeah, that's right. You might also be a brother or a sister. You might be a son or a daughter. You're a student. That's right. You are an animal lover. Maybe you have a cat or dog or some other pet. Yeah, that's right. And maybe you like to be in nature. Right. So these are all some labels that others might identify us as, or we might identify ourselves as, that are positive and that we do like. However, some labels are designed to exclude people and make them feel bad about themselves, or give a group of people an excuse to treat others badly. Of course, that's not very good, and that doesn't make me feel good, and I'm sure that doesn't make you feel good either. So I have a question. Should we ever treat others badly or exclude them because they look or act differently from us? Exactly. Absolutely not. We should never exclude others just because they look different or act different from us. Because if anything, that's what makes all of us great and special, and that's what makes this world fun and exciting, because we are all different. And if we were all the same, trust me, that would get boring really, really fast. So, the types of labels that exclude others are bad and ones that we need to get rid of completely. Yeah, you're right, because labeling separates people and puts them into boxes And this can be very harmful and hurtful. It can be very exclusive, and many people will feel like they don't belong. And no one ever wants to feel that way, and they shouldn't have to. Have you ever felt like you didn't belong? Right. I know. Unfortunately, at some point in our lives, I know we've all probably felt like we've been excluded and we didn't belong. Maybe because it didn't seem like we fit in or that we looked or liked the same things as other people. But again, that's very harmful and hurtful. So now that you have felt that way at some point in your life, just like me, now we know that we wouldn't want to put that onto anyone else. We wouldn't want them to feel bad either. So there is a good thing about this. We can actually learn to celebrate and embrace one another's differences, whether that's the color of our skin, our gender, who we like or spend time with, or what we like to do, and live in a world that is full of inclusion and belonging. Yeah, you're right. That can be really hard work, and it might take some time, but it starts with you and it starts with me. So I have the perfect book today that's going to teach us about how some labels can be very harmful and hurtful and excluding and can hurt other people. But the power that begins with you and me to make a difference and to allow us to learn how to celebrate those differences and bring all of us together to belong. So today I'm going to be reading Teal, written and illustrated by Renee Galvin. And we are reading this book with permission from the author. So as we're reading Teal, I want you to think about those different labels and how putting people into boxes can be really, really hurtful and harmful. So before we begin reading, I want to ask a couple of questions. So I know we kind of already talked about this a little, but have you ever been labeled? And how did it make you feel? Yes, that's so true. You could be labeled because you like to play basketball and you might be a girl. And of course, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But maybe to some other girls, or maybe even to those boys, they might make fun of you and think, well, you're a girl. You can't play basketball, or you shouldn't play basketball. Yeah, and that can feel extremely hurtful. Right. No, I understand. Now, my next question, and it might be hard to admit, but have you ever labeled somebody else? Why and how? Mm-hmm. Right. It's hard to admit, and even if we didn't mean to or if we didn't intend to, just as others have labeled us, we have labeled other people in our lives. But what's important is that we recognize it now, we're aware of it, and we'll try not to do it anymore if it's exclusive and harmful. Okay, my next question. So what does it mean to actually include someone? That's right. Talking to them, playing with them, being their friend and being there for them, inviting them into your circle. Right, you can offer to eat lunch with them or to have a snack. Right, or bring them into a game that you're playing. Exactly. And how can we make sure that everyone feels included? Do you have any ideas? Yes, we can listen to them. We can talk to them. Yes, that's right. We can support them. We can invite them into whatever we're doing. Yes. In even noticing and respecting their differences and celebrating that. Yes, that is how we can include some other people. So what happens when people feel left out? Yeah, no, I know. I felt left out before too. And even as an adult, I still feel left out sometimes with other adults. Right. It feels bad. It's lonely. Yeah, you can feel sad. You might be scared to go back to school or to go and do that other activity because you know that you won't be included. Right. Yeah, those are all really unpleasant feelings that I know I don't ever want to feel, and I know I wouldn't want you or anyone else ever to feel, especially since we've felt them ourselves, right? That's called empathy. hmm And just like you were saying, I mean, how do you think the person who is left out feels? Yeah, that's right. They could be embarrassed, hurt, sad, yeah, even frustrated or angry. Yeah, those are some other interesting words. Sometimes we don't think about how some of those unpleasant feelings can be kind of fiery. Like can make you anxious or fuming. Yeah, that's a really good word too. hmm And my last question before we start reading, can you think of a time when you felt left out? And how did that make you feel? Yeah. Yeah, I hear that when you're in class and everyone at your group or everyone at your table is getting it, and you might be struggling with it a little bit, and they all kind of start talking and working together, and they don't include you because you're still trying to figure it out. Yeah, I know. That definitely can make you feel left out. Yeah, and I hear that too. You've got a group of friends, and maybe they kind of start only hanging out with each other, and they try to kind of push you out of the friend group and maybe make up rumors and say things that aren't true to get others to not be friends with you either. Yeah, that is extremely hurtful. Yeah, it doesn't feel very good at all. So now that we kind of have all been able to share our experiences of how we felt left out and excluded, maybe now we can all work together to make sure that no one else ever feels that way. So let's begin reading Teal. And remember, think about a couple scenarios about why and how it's harmful to put other people into specific boxes. So we have Teal. And I like what it says here, a book about a little crayon that makes a big difference. So this is the story of a little teal crayon. Teal loves being a crayon. Every morning he wakes up and makes sure that his point is extra sharp. And when he colors a picture, he stays in the lines perfectly. Teal is one of my favorite colors. Teal is the color that makes the ocean sparkle and the sky just the right shade of bluish green. Teal is beautiful, and this makes him happy. But there's one thing that makes Teal very sad. What do you think it is? Oh, let's see. Clean up time. At cleanup time, all of the crayons go back to their boxes. Blue crayons go to the blue box. And green crayons go to the green box. Teal isn't sure where he fits in. And I do like these little cute sayings on the wall here. The grass is always greener. Paint the town red. And once in a blue moon. So Teal doesn't think that he fits in. Have you ever felt like you didn't fit in? Yeah, me too. Because maybe you like some different things. Or maybe you speak a different language. Or wear different clothes or eat different foods. All of which are extremely and totally okay. But I know sometimes with other people, that can make you feel like you don't fit in. And how do you think Teal feels? Yeah, he's worried. He's unsure. He's confused. Great words. The little crayon looks down at his label. Teal, it reads. This makes him feel really blue and so green with envy. Am I a blue crayon or am I a green crayon? See, here's where we're thinking and talking about labels. Because he's labeled, he doesn't know where he fits in. Teal goes to his box, all alone to think. Think, think, think. He desperately wants to draw all the crayons together. It's not fair to feel left out just because of a label. And after getting nowhere, Teal begins to think outside of the box. So how do you think Teal is going to bring all the crayons together? Yeah, those are some interesting ideas. Let's see what Teal does. And I like how he has to think outside the box. Does anybody know what that means? Yes, exactly. Sometimes you have to think in a different way or do something that you're not used to doing. Exactly. He's starting to work on his plan. I wonder what he's going to do. He remembers seeing an old tricycle with a perfectly good wheel. Could the wheel bring everyone together? Teal decides to draft a plan. Now, how do you think a wheel is going to bring everyone together? Could be true. Yes, I like that idea. I'm not sure. Guess we're going to have to read to find out. So early the next morning, Teal marches through the tall grass to find the tricycle. The tired little crayon takes only what he needs and begins his journey home. So we got a wheel from a tricycle. Once there, Teal places his wheel in a perfect spot for everyone to see. Yeah, you might be right. He puts a sign next to it which reads, "Welcome all colors." I do like that sign. Then he waits and waits and waits. Why isn't anyone coming? Why can't they see the sign? Maybe the wheel is a silly idea. Do you think the wheel is a silly idea? True, we don't know exactly how it's going to work yet. But you think it's going to work? I do too. I'm very hopeful. Let's see. Ring, ring! Teal's thoughts are interrupted by the cleanup bell. He's just kind of waiting and drawing circles. While the bell's ringing, I wonder what's going to happen. Something is different this time. The crayons are not going to their boxes. They are forming a huge line by the wheel. Yellow, green, orange, red, blue. Teal's plan is working. You were right. One by one, they hop into the wheel, complimenting each other as they go. What do you think the crayons are saying to each other? How do you think they're complimenting each other? Yeah, I like that. Orange, you're glad to see me, Mr. Red? Yes, and you are just as golden as the sun, said Mr. Red to the yellow. What about... Yes, I like that too. You're navy as the night sky. Good ideas. The crayons are no longer separated by boxes or labels. Everyone is wrapped up with love in one giant circle. And out of the blue, the color wheel is born. I like that. That's how the color wheel was created. All because of one little crayon, bright enough to think outside the box. The end. Don't you just love that story? Yeah. So I have a couple questions. So I remember when Teal said, he said, it's not fair to feel left out because of a label. Do you think it's fair to feel left out just because of a label? I don't think so. Exactly. Again, it's very harmful and very hurtful. How do you think Teal felt at the very end when his plan worked and all the crayons came together and they created the color wheel? Yeah, he felt really, really good. And you know what we saw him do for the first time in the whole story? Yeah, he's smiling. Look at the joy in his face. Yes, he finally felt included. He thought outside the box, his plan worked, and he brought everyone together. He felt really special. But let me ask you this. Why do you think Teal wanted everyone to feel included? Right, because he knew how it felt to feel left out. And it made him really depressed, uncomfortable, and unsure about himself. Yes, exactly. He was insecure with who he was just because of a label. Right, at the very beginning of the story, yeah, he was saying he loves being a crayon. Every day he wakes up, he makes sure that his tip is extra sharp. Yes, and then it talked about all the most wonderful and magical colors that Teal creates, the ocean, the sky. But then he felt unsure of himself, and he didn't know his own true value or worth just because he didn't quite fit in with blue or green. Yes, excellent. Yes, and that's how we can feel sometimes if someone puts a negative label on us that excludes us from other people. Yes, we can forget how special we are and our own value and worth and amazing traits. So true. Okay, well, my next question, the quote at the end of the book reads, "The crayons are no longer separated by boxes or labels." And everyone is wrapped up with love in one giant circle. So, how do you think the crayons felt when they were all included in the color wheel? Yeah, special, celebrated for their differences, right? Exactly. They felt the warmth of love and togetherness. And how do you think this could happen in our world? Do you think that we could all come together like a color wheel where everyone could feel supported and loved? Yeah, I think it could happen too. You're right. Yes, it will just start with you and it'll start with me too. And it's a choice we have to make. But yes, it's going to be tiring and it might be really hard sometimes. But if that's what we want for our world, we have to make the choice to do that. So, how do you think we can make this happen? Right? By listening to others, by supporting others. And how can we support others? Again, yes, we listen to them. We can stand up for other people when they are getting excluded. Right, we can always make the choice to include others and to include everyone and bring everyone together. Yeah, I like that too. We can make sure that we support other people and businesses that are different from our own. So we can shop at different stores and eat at different restaurants. Yes, that support other groups of people. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes we might have to call the people in charge, our politicians. Yeah, we might even need to talk to the administration in our schools. Yeah, or maybe at our parents' jobs. Yeah, maybe we can change some rules and regulations there as well. Yes, those are some pretty big steps and some really great ideas. All right. So yeah, how do we think this book might relate to what we might be seeing in the news? Yes, yes. We have people all over the world that are protesting peacefully. Yes, to celebrate and to uplift and to support Black and Brown people. Yes, you may have heard the movement Black Lives Matter. Yes, and you see that real change has been happening. Yeah, people are taking down statues in different cities that might represent exclusion. hmm Yes, and people are supporting more Black-owned businesses. Yes, and people are doing a lot of donating and giving money. Yeah, and maybe there's some reform happening with our police and justice system. Yes, this is just the beginning, and history is definitely being made. Yes, because maybe some Black and Brown people felt excluded because they were labeled and made to feel that other people could exclude them, put them in their own box. Yes, and they put labels on them like they weren't as good or as worthy or smart, and we know that is wrong and not true. Yes. So just like Teal, yeah, people are thinking outside the box and we're doing some things now that are really making change. Yes, the protests, the support, yes, the donations, all of those things. Because we see that the people that felt excluded and have been hurt over so many years and centuries, yeah, they felt very confused and lonely and worried and sad. Just like we know that we have felt just a small fraction of that when we felt left out or excluded, maybe at the lunch table or maybe during PE time when we picked players for teams. Right, so we don't want anyone else to ever feel that way. Exactly. And for my last question is, why do you think we are made to believe that people need to be labeled or separated and placed into boxes? Yes, because unfortunately, some people want to feel superior and better than others, which isn't right. And maybe they want to feel that if we put people into boxes, then maybe they can feel better about themselves. Right. Which, yes, of course, if we all knew that we were all loved equally, we wouldn't need to do that. Right. Well, wow, guys, thank y'all so much for this really amazing and important conversation today. And I want to remind you that just like you, everyone wants to feel included and loved. Everyone wants to belong. And no one wants to feel excluded or left out. And of course, we all may look different and we might like different things or people. We might come from different backgrounds. But yes, we're all the same inside, and that's what matters. The color of your skin, your gender, your background, how much money you have or don't, who you like and love, and what you do make you beautiful and make you you. And those things should not determine your value or worth or how you are treated and seen. You should be loved, and you are enough exactly as you are. And we can all work together to make sure the rest of the world knows too. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to our important conversation today with SEL Dallas Reads. Don't forget, we're going to be doing this again every Monday. And please be sure to check out some of our other videos on mindfulness, self-care, and some fun crafts that you can do with your family at home. Follow us on social media at The Real SEL Dallas on Facebook and Instagram. It was so great to see all of your shining faces today and to hear all of your beautiful words. So think, how are you going to be inclusive today? We'll see you next time. Stay home and stay safe. My name is Allison Wells with Big Thought and SEL Dallas. Bye.